I decided I want to try something new. Now, I'm not going to say I'm going to post every single day. I would love to, but even I know I can't hold myself accountable to that. I've tried many times, and I hate when I break promises to myself, but it's something that has happened, and that pressure just isn't something that I've been able to hold myself up to. But I am going to start posting more often, and every single day is an opportunity to cast a vote for the type of person I want to become, aka a successful YouTuber. Every day I make a video is a day better than if I didn't. And every single day I have values throughout my day. I have thoughts, and a lot of those thoughts are of value. So why not capture every valuable thought throughout my day and just kind of record throughout the day? And therefore I would have eventually a year of 365 videos with all types of different value. So let me talk about my value so far of today. I am at work, I'm on my first break. I figured this would be a good time to take this video to start it. I wake up at 5:30-ish a.m. I started this new job at Sam's Club, and I actually really enjoy it so far. I'm a personal shopper, so I just kind of take online orders and go find them in the store and put them on a cart. And before I had a job, or this job, it was a while. I did personal training on the side, but it was a while before I had a job, like months. And the problem with that is I didn't have as much motivation and momentum that I do have now. Whenever I had all of the time in the world, I wouldn't utilize it because I was my own boss, and I wasn't a good boss. Like, I wasn't good at keeping myself in check, telling myself I need to do this at this time. I would allow myself to waste a lot of time, which is the biggest disgrace of all, the biggest disappointment. But lately I've been doing really good, and it's because I have momentum now. I'm forced to wake up early and go to work, and then I get off work, and I don't want to let that momentum die, so I continue grinding. And I'm just super excited to stay consistent. Like, consistency is something I've always had problems with. I've always dealt with trying to stay consistent, and I will for a certain amount of time, but eventually I'll lose that consistency. But I'm persistent. I haven't gave up. Maybe I'll take a break, but eventually I come back. So as long as I keep on persisting, eventually I will conquer this challenge of mine. And whenever I am that consistent, oh my goodness, who knows what awaits, and how many people I can influence to affect their lives in the similar same way is insane. Like, I really feel like I'm beginning to become the type of person I want to become, and it's literally one of the best feelings ever. Something I was thinking while I was driving yesterday. I just got done filming, and I just felt so good about myself. I feel so good when I'm creating. But anyways, the value that I have today, I've been listening to podcasts, more specifically the Phase Apex podcast. He interviews famous people, and it has gave me a lot of value. Yesterday I listened to the Roman Atwood, and I have a note full of inspirational features of him. Like, I never watched him, so I didn't really know much about him. I knew he was famous, like he's a famous name, but I had no idea who he was. I didn't know that he started when he was like 28. I could F off for 6 years and then start and then have a chance to become as successful as him. Like, that's actually insane, and it makes me feel very privileged to be this early, especially if I get myself to stay consistent and post daily, or at least even once a week will amount to a lot, as long as I don't quit my input. As long as I keep on persisting, I will persist until I succeed. It's a quote for a reason. But anyways, some of the quotes, or some of the value that I got from the podcast is, like I said, he started at 28. He worked in a rope factory for 10 years before he went to YouTube full time. For 3 years he did YouTube until he made 58 cents, and then 5 years I think is when he started making actual money, something like that. But it's just really cool, and it shows what's possible if you don't give up. I saw a quote yesterday, I posted it on my story, and it's like, success is persistence without the loss of enthusiasm, because you never know when you're gonna strike diamond. Like the analogy of strip mining. If you played Minecraft, you know you just see blocks and cobblestone until eventually you reach diamond, but you have no idea when the next block will be diamond. Like, you just have to keep on going, and you can't give up, and you can't get discouraged. And the more evidence I stack and proof of me becoming successful. Like the more actions I take that will say, yeah, it makes sense this guy become successful, he did this for this many years or however long, the more likely it is to happen, the better I feel about myself, because I feel like I am putting in the work and I'm becoming the type of person who is worthy of the things I want to achieve. So being open-minded is huge. I have just really been trying to not be discouraged and stay open-minded and realize if I don't give up, if I don't give into temptation and quitting and to ceasing my input, then success is inevitable. It won't be yet tomorrow. It could be. It won't be, like, you don't know when it will be, but as long as you don't give up, the only option is if you prevail. You won't lose. So that is my value so far. Today right now I'm listening to the Ninja podcast, and the amount of money this guy's made. I mean, he was the #1 in streaming for a good amount of time, so it makes sense, but man, it's just very inspirational what you can do with the internet. The internet is a beautiful thing. I can document myself, my 22-year-old self right now. I'm not going to be 22 years old for much longer. I have like 3 months left. So every single day I have the opportunity to add value to YouTube, to myself, by just documenting my valuable thoughts. So I'll probably pick this back up at lunch or my next break, or maybe after I get off work, and I'll show you the rest of my day. What inputs am I doing to feed into the type of person I want to become? As you saw, I had a rotisserie chicken for lunch. It was super good, only $5, so you can't go wrong. Although I really wanted to get sushi. The sushi they make here fresh is so freaking good, but it's expensive and it's not the most healthiest option. So I know that the chicken is a healthier option, and it is a more affordable is not the word I was looking for, a more frugal, I guess, sure, a more frugal option, just trying to save money and be smart, because it's expensive even though it is super good. Anyways, I also have 2 other things that I wanted to add. I noticed 2 things recurring in successful people. Like, I've been listening to podcasts about successful people on the internet, and 2 recurring things for all of them happen. 1, they do it out of passion. They don't do it for money. They find what they love, and that is how they are able to pursue it so passionately, like pursue it so adamantly. It's because they're passionate about it. And I am passionate about this. I would love to make money through this, but I also am passionate. I enjoy making videos. I feel better when I am creating. The second thing that I have noticed is it did not happen overnight for any of them. All of these big names, it took them years and sometimes even a decade. Think about that. Like Roman Atwood, Ninja was streaming for a decade before he became successful. Like, that's absolutely insane. So whenever you think about that, compare it to your situation, and just know that as long as you keep your head down and continue grinding, then it will pay off eventually, as long as you don't give up. That is the key component. It is super easy to get discouraged when you're not seeing any progress, but you have to act as if you already achieved success, because it is bound to happen. And once it does happen, it's going to be so easy to continue grinding because you got the payoff. But you have to grind without the payoff until you can earn the payoff. And how you do that is just grind as if you already earned the payoff. If I already was a successful YouTuber, I'd have a lot of incentive to post daily, but I'm not. So I got to pretend I am, so I have that incentive. It's just kind of like a way to wire your mind into doing what you need to do. One other huge reason I want to become successful is not to have a successful personal brand, but to have successful other brands too, like CPG products, consumer products. I would love to do that. I'd be super passionate about it. Eventually I want to have merch, and that is a huge incentive on why I want to make it, is because if I make it, I will have an audience that I could sell to, and I just have such a vision for aesthetics, and I would love to share it. I'm off work now. I'm gonna go to the gym and get a sick back pump. I did just buy some pre-workout, so I'm gonna go ahead and try that real quick. It is the Sebum Blue Raspberry Essential Pre-Workout, and I have been raw dogging in the gym for a while now. I don't remember the last time I got pre, but since I'm on this new schedule of waking up at 5:30 a.m., I could definitely benefit from some caffeine, so here we go. Super smooth. When you think blue raspberry, you think sour, but this is almost sweet. I don't know what's going on, but there were so many rows closed off. It was driving me crazy. I had to go all the way around downtown, but finally made it. My back is itching, so let's get it. Back day wrapped up. I used to post daily physique videos, like I would edit videos of my physique, and it was because I was proud of my physique, and I've been slacking for way too long. I let my physique fall off, I guess is the way to put it, because I've been allocating my focus towards different things. But my physique is important. I want to take pride in my physique. I have my own potential that nobody else can replicate. Nobody else can achieve my perfect physique because I was granted those genetics, nobody else. So it is my duty and responsibility to fulfill that potential, and it just feels good to be back on track and to starting to tiptoe back into the confidence to take physique videos again. I had to stop for gas, but I also picked up these Built Puff protein bars. I've had this, it's fire, but I haven't tried this one, so let's review it. I'm not big on caramel, but all of the bars from Built I've tried and I enjoyed them, so. It gets better, but at first it was strong, salty. It's good though, just at first took me off guard. I'll give it a 7.3. First thing I do whenever I come home is I let my dog out. I take him to the dog park since he's been stuck at home all day. And while he plays, I usually just play chess over here on this bench on my phone. Luckily, it's the only part of the dog park that has shade, so very grateful for that. And then afterwards, I take a shower and do my hygiene routine. Now, my back is pretty sore, so I'm pretty grateful for that. That means that, you know, I put an honest effort in. Earlier, I was telling you value that I remembered off the top of my head from the Roman Atwood podcast, but now I'm gonna go look at my notes so I can give you all of the notes I took. He fully quit YouTube twice before he blew up. He said with almost everything he's done, greatness happened right after he felt like giving up. He said you have to push through, you have to let the passion be your drive. He and a lot of other people said you gotta do what you're passionate about and money will be the byproduct of it. You never know where you're gonna end up, and you have to constantly be doing things for opportunities to arise. And like I said previously, he started at 28 years old and he worked at a rope factory for 10 years before he did YouTube full time. His longest streak of daily uploading, go ahead and take a second and guess. 550 days. That is absolutely mind-blowing and inspirational. He said in the podcast that if he were to post whenever he feels like it, he really wouldn't post. But if he has to post every single day, then it's a habit and he will. I'm trying to turn this into a habit. He said production keeps him happy. If you're not happy, then accomplish something. And then he gave a great analogy of water. Whenever it is still after a long period of time, it gets disgusting. But when it is flowing, it is beautiful. You know, I can agree to this. Even though work sucks, I am more happy now that I am working. Just got out of the shower, so let me go ahead and show you what the rest of my tasks are. So I got my routine in this journal. This is my office. As you can see, it's empty, just has the essentials. And I'll go ahead and show you what I need to get done. Basically, I write out my routine. The time here is the time I completed it. But today I decided to give myself a pre-guideline. I am behind because it is 5:31 and I'm supposed to be making lunch, but I'm not hungry, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my main tasks, which is journaling. I have another journal for affirmations, gratitude, and visualization. Giraffe, I'll show you what that is. Vocab, I'll show you how I do that, and then reading. I forgot to add meditation, but I do that after I get done with the reading. This was yesterday's journal entry. This is today's. And I used to not really understand what the value is in journaling, but now I can explain it because I understand it better. See, whenever you journal, you take your thoughts and you convert them into words on a piece of paper. And that is important because when they're in here, they're not organized. Your brain is very mysterious. Like you have all of these thoughts, an insane amount of thoughts, but the way they're stored, we don't really understand. We can't pick the perfect idea or thought at our disposal. Like they kind of come and go. So whenever you start writing, you start to extract those thoughts, and whenever they're extracted, you're able to format them on a piece of paper. And it's basically like having a conversation with yourself. You can keep all of those thoughts in your head, but you're not going to make much progress with those thoughts. They are not going to serve much value. But if you are able to extract them, lay them on a piece of paper, you're able to just find out more valuable thoughts, but also just really bring out the true value in the thoughts you already have in here. So what I'm going to do is just share some of the thoughts that I've had because they are valuable. And what I like about today's video is I'm not doing it for an insane retention rate. Like it's going to be minimal cuts and not a lot of editing. I'll do a cool little gym edit, but it's not going to be long. And all of these videos where I'm just talking to you, I'm not doing it, like I said, for a high retention rate. I'm doing it because I want to. I don't have any standard that I have to live up to. I'm doing it out of passion, and I'm not expecting it to blow up. I honestly think it's gonna flop, but that's okay. It's just another video that's adding to the value of my channel and adding to the value of myself. I'm improving myself. Like what I wrote down is, if I imagine creating daily vlogs of my unique life for 5 years, I can't imagine how successful I will become. It not only will give me a ton of content which serves as value and support of success, but it will turn me into a far better version of myself who is able to create way higher quality content. If I put in the work now, then I'll have so many opportunities in the future. That is another thing that I've been hearing again and again from these podcasts is luck is bound to happen eventually, and success requires some luck, but you have to be doing things to put yourself in a position for that luck to actually matter. I want to have successful brands. There is much I need to accomplish in order to have that opportunity. I must aid my future self every single day by taking the required actions. I started off this journal entry talking about how I decided today to do a full day of input because I think there's multiple benefits, and then I listed some. 1, it gives me content I can produce daily, which is only going to benefit my channel and my consistency. 2, it will give me incentive to adhere to my routine, which is going to result in a ton of growth. 3, I'm able to work on my articulation and extract the value I gain from each day so I can go back and look at all the filtered compressed value I managed to convert into footage. Some value from yesterday's entry is I am in charge for how I progress in all realms, including my physique, discipline, finance, and YouTube. The actions I have laid out for myself will compound, but only if I actually do them and do them consistently. I also wrote down that I enjoy when I realize how easy and free I am to make videos. I could make videos every single day and have an enormous amount of evidence responsible for my success. I need to remain consistent in taking the actions I know I must. They have mostly been the same for years, but I've been extremely inconsistent. I haven't even went a month straight. I need to go a year straight in order to see the results I want. I either accomplish what takes people years in a single year, or I take years to accomplish what I could have done in a year. My years are limited. Waste them under no circumstance. My grandma just gave me this living room table, which is awesome because I haven't had one since I moved in. I have that, which is one, but I've just used it as a TV stand and went without one, so really grateful for that. Here's my gratitude affirmations and visualization journal. I just recently re-added the visualization. I took them out for a little bit because I was typing them on my laptop, but then I forgot about it, so now I'm back to writing them. It seems like a lot, but really this is the first entry of 2025. Oh my gosh, no freaking way. That is actually kind of sad. I just made a self-realization. But this is why I'm being vulnerable and showing you, so I have more incentive to fill this thing up. This is my drafty entry with a fire quote. Now for my vocab, I use this vocabulary builder, and basically it gives you a bunch of words that stem from a Latin word, and then afterwards it gives you a quiz. Some value for you is that sight comes from the Greek word psyche, meaning breath, life, soul. And mania in Latin means madness. Quiz complete. For reading, I just finished the last chapter of The Greatest Salesman in the World. It is an amazing book. I recommend it. I, for whatever reason, read a lot of it and then stopped reading it and finally picked it back up and finished it. So I'm going to reread it and provide value from this book in the future to videos. But what I will say is this is where the quote, "I will persist until I succeed," came from. Now it is 6:41. I told my client that I would train him at 7 o'clock. So what I'm going to do before then is just 5 minutes of meditation. I put on a timer on my watch and I just breathe in, breathe out, close my eyes, and analyze my thoughts. I ended up doing that for like 15 minutes and I am extremely freaking tired now. My client canceled because he has work in the morning and he was making dinner, but I do have another client that I might train. Now I'm going to reflect, and how I do that is I reflect on these goals that I laid out for myself. I have it by the day I created it, the week, the month, the year, and my life. Having specific goals set for specific time frames is important, and it's something that I haven't done. And now that I have gave myself these specific goals, it's good to reflect on them and keep in mind what the end goal is. I'm not gonna lie, I'm extremely tired. I really want to go to sleep, but I have chicken thawed that would probably go bad if I left it for tomorrow, so I gotta go ahead and cook that and have a healthy dinner. Now all that is left is editing, studying, and creating my schedule for tomorrow. Luckily, both of my clients canceled, and I'm super tired, so I'm kind of glad that they did. This chicken is slimy, which is really unfortunate because I looked up if that means it is bad and it said it is, so I should discard it. I know Erebus is upset. This is what his portion was, but I'm gonna try to find something else and just not take the risk. Lay down. Jump. Sit. Stay. Okay. Fun fact, this is one of my absolutely favorite meals. It is a bacon, egg, and avocado sandwich. I used keto bread to make it healthier, and I'm eating it with a cream soda Zevia, which is like a fake soda, but it's actually super healthy and still tastes really good. I know it's healthy because I scanned it with the Yuka app, Y-U-K-A. I highly recommend that. That will tell you if food is good or not, because a lot of food that you think is good is actually terrible. But anyways, I'm super excited for this. Kind of glad the chicken didn't work out, and of course, I made Erebus some bacon as well. I genuinely feel bad for every single person who isn't me because they don't get to have these cooking abilities at their disposal. So all I have left now is to study, to edit, and to create my schedule. Now, you see, I made a video right before I ate talking about how I think I'm just gonna put off studying and editing because I was extremely tired, and I was just justifying it, but I'm so grateful I had a mind shift because after I ate, I gained a little bit of energy and I realized I can literally just do a minute of each and check it off. Even a minute is better than not doing it at all. Not only is it a minute of progression, but also it is just adding to my consistency, adding to my discipline. If you've read the book Atomic Habits, atomic means absolutely tiny. And it talks about the power of how these tiny little habits, even doing a little bit every single day, will compound. It's way better than doing nothing. So I'm just really grateful I had that mind shift because now I'm gonna go ahead and just do a little bit of each so I feel good about myself, have a full list completed, and that's just gonna make me feel so much better tomorrow and more likely to accomplish my goals again. So if you're curious on what I'm studying, it is AI automation, and this is a bot that I am building. I'm just following along this course, and this bot is doing a lot of work for a personal trainer, which I happen to be, so it is beneficial to me, but I'm just gonna do at least one block. This has been my biggest obstacle. It's been super hard to adhere to, but just doing a tiny bit is gonna help me progress. I'm extremely glad I decided to do a little bit because I found this little tool that is gonna save me so much time. So yesterday, I copied all of this into here, and when I went to save it, it deleted it all. So I just went to sleep. I made no progress. I did all of that for nothing, but I just figured out how I can copy text from a video and paste it. Windows Shift T. Now I have this power toy. So I should be able to go just like that. It copies it, and Control V, boom. That one tool is gonna save me so much time, and it's all because I decided to do a tiny bit of input. I only committed to 1 minute. Just finished my schedule for tomorrow, which is key, by the way. I highly recommend you plan out your day ahead. I just started doing it, and as you can see, my days have become so much more productive, and now that I can mark that off, that creates a full day of completion. That is so satisfying. I'm yet to do that. Like the past 2 days, I was a couple short, but today I freaking did it. And it just feels so good. And I'm so glad I convinced myself to not cut myself short and to just commit to even a minute. And I'll feel so much better about myself because I am improving myself. Even by a tiny bit, it will amount to a whole lot more. Just seeing all of this input laid out is really motivating, and I just can't imagine what it's gonna amount to if I stay consistent. I'm gonna really try to. I know you probably aren't watching this video because it's super long, so I'd be surprised if anybody's still watching. It's probably boring, or hopefully somebody cares and is just taking all of the value in and gonna utilize it. But if you are watching, go ahead and comment. I will persist until I succeed. So I know you watched till the end. I'm gonna be looking out for that comment. I'm not expecting it, but if you comment it, I'm gonna be very surprised and very appreciative. So thank you so much for watching. Please let me know any feedback you have, good or bad. It all is beneficial because it can help me improve. And as you can tell throughout my day, that is all I care about, is just improving, progressing, and becoming a better version of myself. I didn't get this whole video edited yet, but I did do some, and that is gonna just make it easier tomorrow. It's a little bit more organized, so on my breaks and on my lunch, I'll be able to grind. Without further ado, I'll see you in the next one, and as always, stay sedulous.